Welcome to Talk to Me. I'm your host, Brenda Warren, the Solutionist. I see things other people often miss. I help veterans, entrepreneurs, and authors turn their mess or their mission into a message for the masses. And today, do I have a message for you? My guest is going to help you eliminate those negative thoughts. Samantha Hill is a self-talk expert, the founder of the Confident Shift, and a published author who helps women control their unwanted self-dialogue so they can discover how to reach their highest potential with confidence. In her new book, Shift Your Confidence, a 15-day journey to fire negative self-talk, Samantha teaches women how to turn their negative thoughts around and focus on knowing that they are the boss over their thoughts. Samantha has a bachelor's degree in business management. She serves women around the world doing live events and connecting with 100 plus women weekly in her private Facebook group called The Confidence of Women with Samantha Hill. No matter what platform she's on, y'all, she is using it to lift up the women she calls her queen sisters. And she takes that time to show them how to look their negative thoughts in the eye and use her favorite quote: "You are fired. I fired that ass." Samantha, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You know, when your book arrived, and I do have my own copy because every time I interview an author, I make it my point, and I want people to see. So I'm gonna bring it up close. Look at that. Isn't that a beautiful cover and a beautiful picture? I want to take a little bit of time with this one because wait a minute, there you go. She had their background too, like she should in the back. I just love it. It's very neat and clean. And I'm really enjoying the read that comes along with your picture. Oh, excuse me, with your book. Mm-hmm. When I started it the other day when it arrived, I always come in and I like to just a couple of things. I didn't get to tag it because I went through it so easily. I was just like, oh, I didn't even tag it like I normally do. But I like to go through just a couple of the things. It's like you have talk about the commitment to self. I'm not going, y'all had to buy the book to get it all, but I'm gonna give y'all a couple.
That's right.
She does. In day 6, it's a self-reflection. You go down to day 10, it said dig a little deeper. That one hit me hard right there. Go all the way down to day 15, it's the hiring process. And then she wrapped it up. But in between all of this, there's some amazing techniques that will help you fire those negative thoughts. Samantha, what made you want to write this book?
Well, going into my career as a coach, I noticed, you kind of, I guess I have to kind of go back a little bit. Let me go back a little bit. Okay. I've always struggled with my negative self-talk, and I knew it, but of course it was hidden. It wasn't something that I shared with anybody. And then when I got into my coaching career, I wanted to make sure that it was something that I was passionate about, because I believe your pain is your purpose. So since this was one of my biggest struggle as a childhood, because, you realize whatever you struggle with as a child, you definitely bring it into your adult life, especially if you don't acknowledge it. But just having my private Facebook group with my queen sisters, we got on the topic about negative self-talk. So I decided to do a series on negative self-talk because we do it in so many areas, of our life, constantly, all day. And it's a known fact, statistics say that 80% of our thoughts are negative. So when we start talking about it, and, it just, it's like one of those light bulb moments. It was like, this is a good way to compare your negative thoughts to when you have an employee that is not a good fit. You need to fire them, and you need to get rid of it, and don't let it come back. So that's where the phrase "you are fired," because you're firing that negative self-talk, you're giving it the hand, right? And then I fired that ass is like an affirmation. Yes, I fired that ass. I did that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
right.
it just, and then the women were like, hey, you need to write a book. And the book was born.
Now, I have a few notes and I'm going to refer to them because I didn't want to miss a couple of things. I know
Okay.
that you're a retired licensed cosmetologist. I know you're a certified master life coach with 35 plus years experience. And how has that background of cosmetology helped you with this book? Because I remember us talking about it before, and I thought it was really interesting, some of the things you said. So I thought you want to share about that a little bit.
Being a cosmetologist has been an amazing experience for me. What I didn't know is that what I did then and what I do now, there was a connection in my passion. Okay. And so even though there was a period in between the two, I was being trained, I would say, training myself for what was to come, my future. Because as a little girl, I believe I was around 12 years old, I used to make $2 to braid a head of hair. And so, when you're a child and you're doing just like you go to the salon now, you're actually having a conversation. And that conversation as a child was like boys, school, about that whooping you got, different stuff like that. So I kind of learned confidentiality at that time as a child. And then moving on into adulthood as a cosmetologist, is pretty much the same way. For example, let's say you are my client and you've had a hard day, you coming in to get your hair done. The first thing that's going to happen is your shampoo, right?
Right.
And so most people are excited about the shampoo because there's a connection there. And it goes straight. Yeah. So as I'm draping you, I'm preparing you, and your relaxed state comes, right? You get relaxed, you lay back in the chair. I start to massage you all the, your scalp. Most people think the shampoo is for removing oils and dirt from the scalp, but it's like therapy, right? Yes. It's a connection there, and the conversation might start with, well, how was your day? And then the more we talk, we begin to connect. You might be in the mood to vent. You might be in the mood to, share or ask for positive advice, so it's just a process that I was already doing that I didn't know that I was doing, and women, they would come in, and it's like, that they want this outer beauty, but they was missing the inner beauty. So that was like my job already.
That's good. And how did hearing all the stories from the women that sat in your chair help you build the chapters in the book? Because knowing that because when I saw what was being said in each of the different days, I was like, I could see a woman sitting in a chair telling you her story.
Yes. And it was, and sometimes I think that's why people even came back, is because they were able to share, they was able to trust, they was able to get advice. And some of the stories I told, what I wanted to be consistent throughout the entire book, because that's the importance of how you get rid of your negative self-talk. It's all about consistency. So I consistently shared a story of someone or myself, of their journey. And it was always a pleasure for me just as well as them. But now as a coach, I'm able to impact women on a much higher level, because I can reach women all over the world instead of just that one person at a time, which is okay. I'm okay with helping one person at a time, but I feel like God's plan for me is to impact women all over the globe, should I say.
Now, part of the thing when I read through here, I know that you, like many of us, grew up in a toxic environment. And because of that, you developed a positive way of thinking. How did your childhood impact what you put in the book?
Well, actually, as a child, I was using what some people call reverse psychology. I really was making the problem worse instead of better. But in my mind, I guess I've been a problem solver my whole life. In my mind, I was thinking that if I thought the worst of that day, that when the worst didn't happen, I was still happy, still succeeded, had a good day, So I was using that, what do you call it? That I was flipping it to make myself happy, but I was actually at the same time hindering myself to have a positive, mindset. But I took that and I used it in the book because I feel like it's no better person to help you with what you're going through than a person that's been through it. I still struggle with it today, each and every day, correcting myself. Talk is all about acknowledgement. You have to acknowledge that you're having those thoughts, because many women they don't even realize, many people, period. But my focus has always been women because of me being a cosmetologist.
That's a good place to start, because on day 6, I'm going to read just a little bit.
Okay.
Self-reflection number 1, it says, today is a day of self-reflection, focusing on your journey thus far. Reflect on your progress and your awareness of negative thoughts and self-talk. This week's focus has been on acknowledgement of your negative thoughts and how to shift them to positive. Things to remember: your commitment to yourself comes first. Your mind controls your entire life, and you are the boss over your thought. Today's goal is to recognize and reflect on the biggest inner shift. We will dive deeper in the days to come. And I love at the bottom it says reflections is looking back so that you view looking forward is even clearer. And it's nuggets like that I was like I had to sit with that for a minute, because in my own coaching and teaching, I talk about automatic negative thoughts. We use the acronym ANTS and how they invade your thoughts. And you're using the sense of an employee that you got fired, which I just love. It's amazing to me how it seems so simplistic, but it really made you sit and think. Each day was filled with something that, I'm gonna go back in the book and do the 15-day journal. But because I knew the interview was coming, I went through and just read cover to cover. And I was like going, "Ooh, that's good. Ooh, that's good."
Thank you.
And so as I did that, and I'm feeling my own confidence rise, even though I'm a life coach as well. There's something to be said when someone presents even stuff you believe you already know, presented in a different voice. And I want to know, what has been your experience since releasing the book from people that have read it so far?
Well, so far I've been getting all positive responses. I haven't had any negativity yet. It's already on Amazon, like I said. And if you want to find my book, you just look up my name, Samantha Hill, and the title is Shift Your Confidence. And I believe I have about 6 reviews now, and they're all been 5s. So it's like a pat on the back. I get excited every time I read it, because that's my goal. That's the journey, is to impact women, because it was a long journey for me. It was hard. But it's a matter of keep pushing, because life is going to happen to you. Because as a cosmetologist, like I said, there's a space in between me being a cosmetologist and me being a licensed coach, because my life kind of shifted. I had some bad experiences to come about. I had to protect my kids. I had to pick up and move us. But I've always wanted to get back to my passion, and this is it, and I put a lot. This book is just the beginning.
Okay. How important is it for you for women to shift their confidence?
It's very important. And one of the reasons it's so important, my godmother, she passed away a few years back. And I've always admired her. She's a very beautiful woman. and she was so into her family. And you know how sometimes you have people that you feel like they have the greatest life. They have their kids, they're married, they have a career. I looked at it as having a great life. But once I was going through my transition and had to leave my hometown, I wasn't seeing her as much. So when I went to see her, I started noticing that, you know, what I've been experiencing pretty much my whole life, what I call that fake smile, you know, that fake smile we put on, that was her. And the sad part about it is she left this world still with that sad face. And it has touched me in a way that I don't want to see another woman leave this world totally unhappy, not finding their happiness, their desire to live, you know, just giving up. This is what life has dealt me. That's not good. And I just don't want to see that. You know, it's just very touching for me, you know.
Now, you mentioned that the book is just the beginning. Are there opportunities for women to work with you through group coaching, individual coaching, retreats? What's going on?
Yes, definitely. I am actually having my book launch today, and it's going to be at 7. And I invite, you know, all the women. I invite the men too, because, you know, I do have men that have registered for the event, but I don't want to give away the things that I have planned. But I do group coaching. I do one-on-ones. It actually depends on the situation and the person. And of course, you got to be a good fit.
Okay.
Because I don't want to have to fight that
ass. No, we don't want you to have to do that. So, Samantha, as you went through writing this book process, and now that it is actually bound and published, what advice would you give to yourself today that you didn't have when you started this process?
I would say, totally do it yourself, okay? Because that was one of the struggles that I went to. Never give up. Don't give up. I'm telling you, life obstacles was hitting me left and right, you know, just punching me. But I kept getting up. It didn't come out when I wanted it to. But now I know that it was part of the process, because if it would have came out when I wanted it to, it wouldn't have a great impact that it's having so far. I'm loving the impact that it has. It's helped me to grow. I'm continuing to grow every day. And it's something that you can even look back, like I have the self-reflections in there, because I want people to always look back, because sometimes life drags us down. So we got to get back up again and go through that process all over again. And then you're able to see if you had growth when you do your self-reflections.
You know, and one of the things we talked about earlier was the toxic environment that you grew up in. And I want you to think back to that little girl that didn't see necessarily her future, but that was putting on the positive spin on everything. What would you tell her today to help her make it to where you are right now?
That's a very good question. I like that question. And I would probably tell her that don't be afraid of change. Have the courage to know that everybody isn't going to go with you. Everybody isn't going to grow with you. Everybody isn't going to support you. But because I feel like I spent a lot of my life looking for that person to give me that push, to hold my hand, walk me through it. So I would tell her to just have the courage, just do it. Just do it. If it's on your mind, do it. You know, don't live in the now. Don't live, you know, in the past of the bad things, the struggles, the hurt, the pain that you've been through. Use those as experience to grow constantly every day. But then when I kind of think about it, I wouldn't change anything about what happened, because I wouldn't be at the point I am without that experience. And like I said, your pain is your purpose. Your mess is your message, like you say. You know, it's all about coming up with the solution. What's your name again? Soul Solution. Yeah. And, you know, hey, I probably would just let it ride like it did.
There you go. What would you say was the number one thing that shifted your confidence?
The number one thing that shifted my confidence, I would say just acknowledgement, you know, acknowledging that it was going on, you know, that it wasn't there, that I needed to make a shift because I wanted happiness in my life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
There's no wrong answer. It's just, you know, it's a thought of, you know, we all come to that point of where we reach a point in our life, be it age or circumstances, where we make that mental shift that allows us to say, I'm going to become unstoppable and that I'm going to shift my confidence. So,
yes.
You know,
and God started putting the right people in my life. You know, my life was shifting and I had to shift with it or be in denial. You have a choice. We all have choices.
Now I have to ask you, because, you know, I've always been tickled pink by your name, the Starlight Diva. And I love that name. And how does the Starlight Diva allow you to shift your confidence?
Girl, Starlight Diva is definitely a diva, and she definitely is a light that shines totally through me. I mean, it was a nickname that was given to me back in my network marketing days. A good friend of mine and my husband, we were dating at the time. He kind of gave me that name and I just resonated with it. You know, I've even had a person to tell me, oh, if you want a successful career, you need to get rid of that name. And I was like, you know, no, I'm trying to show women confidence. You know, how can I let you tell me my worth or which direction I should be going? It resonated with me from the time that I heard it. He actually took, what's the song? Lucky Stars by Madonna. So he took that song. I'm gonna have to play it at my book launch. He took that song and, you know, like it says Starlight, Star Bright. He switched it. I don't know how he did it, but I used it for an intro for years. It says Starlight Diva. I love it, girl. It's beautiful. And that's what I want to teach women. I want to teach women to let that light shine endlessly. Don't let nobody hold you back. I don't care who says it's not, you shouldn't do that, or it's not, you know, it's not going to work.
For the queen sister that's watching right now that may not have shifted her confidence yet, what advice would you give to her?
To buy my book.
Okay, that's a good book.
First of all, that's the beginning. I love my queen sister. You know, we have so many struggles in life. And like I said, I know everybody has negative self-talk, but when it comes to women, we are on a totally different level. You know, at times we lose our voice. So I would totally encourage her to just stay on her journey. Stay on her journey. Keep pushing. Don't let anybody hold you back. If they don't want to come along with you, maybe they're at the end of their journey, but you are not. You'll keep pushing. Happiness, joy, that's your ultimate goal. That is, when you get to that point, you're able to succeed in any goal that you might have. Even if you want to be the president of the United States, you can do it.
Could you tell me, Samantha, how is what you're doing right now and writing this particular book help you live your best life now?
Girl, and you know, long time ago, I heard that you're living your best life when you're making plenty of money. So not true. You can have all the money in the world, and I'm telling you, you can be totally unhappy. So I am definitely living my best life right now. You know, I might not have all the money in the world, but I have my confidence. I have my joy. I have my relationship with God. It's just such a good feeling that I feel, and it makes me strive even more, because that's one thing I don't want to, that's a journey I don't want to do on my own, is find that happiness. I want to take as many women as I can with me.
Okay. Samantha, if someone wanted to reach out to you to buy your book or to find out about coaching opportunities or hire you for a speaking engagement, how would they get in touch with you?
Well, actually, you can go to my website. It is called confidenceshift.com.
Okay.
www.confidenceshift.com. You can go up on the books and more, and you're able to purchase my book, the ebook. I added a workbook in there that you can download for the ebook because, in a book, ebook, you can't put all the lines in it. So you have a download version a journal. Mm-hmm. So pretty much my website has a contact area where you can type in any comments, suggestions, or issues or problems that you might have, and also you can set up a free 30-minute consultation with me. ConfidenceShift.com.
We'll make sure we put all that in the description so that someone can get in touch with you. And thank you for coming to this show today, Samantha.
Thank you. This has been amazing. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, if you'd like to tap into your greatness and find out how to shift your confidence, you know how it starts. If you've been watching this show, you know I'm going to tell you to tap into Samantha. The first thing you need to do is change your mindset and know that you're not alone. Then purchase her book. That's how you can announce that I'm ready for the shift. Then I want you to be accountable to go through the 15-day journal that's going to help you prepare to imagine a life with a shift in your confidence that can help you live your best life now. And I want you to nurture that thought. So go ahead and tap into Samantha by going to her website and get the Shift Your Confidence book, because this 15-day journey is a way to fire those negative thoughts. Samantha, thank you again for coming to the show. Do you have any final thoughts for our audience?
I just want to, tell women all over the world, it's just, it's okay. Like you say, you're not alone. And that was the first thing I had to realize. So if it's you're determined to be happy. You determined. I am 56 years old and just starting off, I've been through this journey a long time, but what I'm saying is when that ultimate shift came, I was of age. It's almost like when you turn 50, you start thinking, oh, what have I done? What am I supposed to be doing? Lord help me, Or so I just want women to just continue to push, find someone that's a good fit. I feel like that I am that person. So contact me. We will go from there and get you the help that you need.
Well, thank you, Samantha. As I always remind my audience, take time to find a veteran or someone that knows a veteran and tell them thank you, because it's never too late to say thank you, especially to a veteran. Remember, everyone, the choices you make today will be the reality you live tomorrow. Choose wisely. Be blessed, everyone. Thanks, Samantha.
Thank you.